It's a marshmallow world in the winter when the snow comes to cover the ground. And it's time for play. It's a whipped cream day. I love it when it comes around. Those are marshmallow clouds being friendly in the arms of the evergreen trees. And the sun is red. Here we go again. A pumpkin head. It's shining so your nose won't freeze.
Now, in the Christmas mood. Remember last class we studied about lesson 8C? We heard this story about a man who was going after a woman, and she was, well, living in a different place. He had hired a detective to find where she was living. And when he found out, he went to meet her. And we heard the first part of the story, right? Now we're going to see the second part. Let's remember some of the things we saw, right? We described the people, and here are some of the answers to those questions. What did the detective give Hartley? What did he offer to do? He gave Hartley Vivian's address. He offered to follow her. What did Hartley do when he got the address? So he left the detective's office and went to find where Vivian lived. What did Vivian look like? She looked about 41. Her hair was red gold and her eyes blue. Okay. Why was Hartley angry with her? Because she hadn't answered his letter. And number 5, why do you think she didn't answer his letter? Remember you said, well, she probably doesn't love him, or she doesn't want to see him anymore. I don't know. I don't know the relationship between them. So yeah, we just can only guess what's going to happen. Now we're going to listen to the second part of the lesson, of the story, and then we're going to try to answer these questions. We have 6 questions here for you to think about. But first, let's hear the second part. Let me show you to you.
4.8.
Part 2. The girl looked out the window dreamily.
Mr. Hartley,
She said slowly.
I don't know what to say to you. I understand all the advantages of your offer, and sometimes I feel sure that I could be happy with you. But then sometimes I am less sure. I was born a city girl, and I am not sure that I would enjoy living a quiet life in the suburbs.
My dear girl,
Said Hartley.
you will have everything that you want. You can come to the city for the theater, for shopping, and to visit your friends as often as you want. You can trust me, can't you?
I can trust you completely.
She said, smiling at him.
I know you are the kindest of men, and that the girl who you get will be very lucky. I heard all about you when I was at the Montgomerys.
Ah,
Exclaimed Hartley.
I remember so well the evening I first saw you at the Montgomerys. I will never forget that dinner. Come on, Vivian, promise me. I want you. Nobody else will ever give you such a happy home.
Vivian didn't answer. Suddenly Hartley was suspicious.
Tell me, Vivian,
He asked.
is there someone else?
You shouldn't ask that, Mr. Hartley.
She said.
But I will tell you. There is one other person, but I haven't promised him anything.
Vivian,
Said Hartley, masterfully.
you must be mine.
Vivian looked him in the eye.
Do you think for one moment
She said calmly.
that I could come to your home while Eloise is there?
I don't know. Somebody else is living there. So now we have some questions to think about now. You heard the second part of the story. And the question is, why wasn't Vivian sure about accepting Hartley's offer? So she wasn't sure about accepting his offer. What is his offer exactly? I understand all of the advantages of your offer, and sometimes I feel sure that I could be happy with you. But then sometimes I am less sure. I was born a city girl, and she doesn't want to live in the suburbs. Yeah. Here we find the problem. She doesn't want to live in the suburbs. She's a city girl. She wants to be downtown. And probably where Mr. Hartley lives is in the suburbs. All right, that's one reason. Now, the second question. How did Hartley try to persuade her? Okay, now he's trying to persuade her or convince her that she can go with him. My dear girl, he said, you will have everything that you want. You can come to the city for the theater, for shopping, and to visit your friends as often as you want. You can trust me. That's how he promised her. That's how he tried to persuade her. Okay, it doesn't matter. You can come to the city as much as you want. You don't have to be there for the rest of your life. And then she said, well, you're the kindest of men. I guess she conceded. Let's see. Where did Hartley and Vivian first meet? And what did Hartley think was the reason why Vivian didn't say yes to his offer? Okay, let's see now. It's not showing. Let's show it again. So here she mentions the first time they met. Ah, exclaimed Hartley. I remember so well the evening I first saw you at the Montgomerys. So she said before, I heard all about you when I was at the Montgomerys. It means a house, right? She was there. She was living there. He was a party. I don't know. And he went there one evening. Mr. Hartley went there one evening. He saw her. He never forgot that night. All right. And then he asked her, is there someone else? Someone else is on the way. And then she said, you shouldn't ask that, Mr. Hartley, but I'll tell you. There is one person, but I haven't promised him anything. Now, who's this person? What do they want with her? I don't know. And then the last question is, what do you think Hartley wanted Vivian to do? Who do you think Heloise is? Okay. Now, and then he said again, Vivian, said Hartley masterfully, you must be mine. You must be mine. And then she said calmly, do you think for one moment that I could come to your house while Heloise is there? Now we have another problem. The problem is not only because she doesn't want to live in the suburbs, but because there is someone else living there with Mr. Hartley, who's Heloise. I don't know who Heloise is, but she's living there, and Vivian said, I'm not going while she's there. Okay, so these are the words we studied today. Advantage, which is a positive thing. Whenever you have an offer or an offering, there are some advantages and disadvantages for you to consider. What are the advantages for Vivian to move with Mr. Hartley? There are some disadvantages, we know. She doesn't want to live in the suburb, and Heloise is there, right? But he hasn't spoken about any advantage, I guess, except that she could come to the city as much as she wanted. Suburbs, a part of the city, which is a little bit outside of the center of the city. Trust, believe that somebody is good, honest, and suspicious, feeling that somebody has done something wrong. Suspicious minds, as Elvis would say. Now, we're going to listen to the final part of the second part again. And I want you to think about these two questions here. Listen to the last 5 lines of part 2. What tells the speakers where to pause? Like, You start talking and you have to make a pause. You stop for a moment, then you continue. And what way to say the dialogue? What tells you in what way to say the dialogue? Let's listen to it again.
4.9.
Vivian,
said Hartley masterfully.
you must be mine.
Vivian looked him in the eye.
Do you think for one moment
She said calmly.
that I could come to your home while Eloise is there?
Okay, so what tells the speakers where to pause is the punctuation, right? Here, let me show you again. Okay, try to open it better. Vivian, said Hartley, masterfully. Dot, you must be mine. This is the punctuation. Punctuation tells you how to say things, in which speed you should speak, right? And the adverbs tell you how to say the things, right? Masterfully, the intonation you must read. Calmly, the way she replied. Yeah? In what way to say the dialogue and where to pause. So these are the two answers, punctuation and the adverbs. Usually adverbs end with ly, most of them. Okay, so whenever you read poems or stories aloud or out loud, you have the opportunity to focus on pronunciation, especially sentence rhythm. Otherwise, people don't understand what you're saying. You have to speak, then you make a pause, and then you continue with the things you want to say. Okay, now I'm going to show you the another part of the dialogue here for you to practice at home. We're going to next class. I want you to practice this in class, but I want you to look at it and try to read all the parts by yourself. And then in classroom, we're going to read each other's parts, right? So you will be acting out the dialogue. To act out is to speak as if you were the character. All right. So let me show you here for you to practice. This is the first part. You take a look. And you pause the video, right? And then you move on to this part here. And you pause the video again, and you read everything. Okay? And then in classroom, we're going to change roles. All right? So let's go back to the lesson. Now we're going to go to the third part of the listening, because there are some more things to deal with in this story. You see this picture here? Who's this woman? And who's that woman? This man we know is Mr. Hartley because of the mustache, right? But that woman over there with a bottle of, I don't know, pinga, wine, what is she drinking? Champagne? Why is she wearing a crown? What is that? Is it a hat or something? Is because she's drunk? What are those things hanging there on the wall? Frying pans? Yeah, maybe they're frying pans, and she's drinking, and she's wearing a uniform or something, or a dress. Well, this woman is also wearing a dress. But that one looks less fancy than this. And who's this woman? Is she Vivian? No, she isn't, because Vivian has red hair. This is a different woman. And so is that one. Now, we're going to listen to the part 3 of the story, and then we're going to answer the questions again. Questions 1, 2, and 3. What did Hartley say about Heloise? Heloise? Who's Heloise? This one? That one? What did Vivian promise to do? Who do you think the lady in the white dress is? Is she Heloise? I don't know. Let's listen to it and see it again.
4.10.
Part 3.
Eloise will go,
Said Hartley angrily.
I haven't had one day without problems since I met her. You are right, Vivian. Eloise must go before I can take you home, but she will go. I have decided.
Then,
said Vivian.
my answer is yes. I will be yours.
She looked into his eyes, and Hartley could hardly believe his luck.
Promise me.
He said,
I promise.
repeated Vivian softly. At the door, he turned and looked at her happily.
I will come for you tomorrow.
He said.
Tomorrow.
She repeated with a smile. An hour and 40 minutes later, Hartley stepped off the train when it stopped in the suburbs and walked to his house. As he walked towards the door, a woman ran to him. She had black hair and was wearing a long white dress. They kissed and walked into the house.
Now, wait a minute. So this was going not here, right? Was going on while he was still there talking to Vivienne, right? Let me show you. So he was talking to Vivienne there, and this is the third part where he was still there talking to her, right? And then he promised that, she said the last time, Heloise. And then he said, Heloise will go. And then she said, oh, he said it angrily. Oh, he didn't like Heloise. And then he said he had a lot of problems with her. And that Vivienne is right, that Heloise must go before she can come. All right. And then she said, yes, well, I'll go. If Heloise is going, then I'm moving. But then, don't you think this is a little distraction from Vivienne? She said yes, right? But maybe she said yes because she wants him to leave. She wants him to go home, right? She just agreed with him. Okay, so you get out of here. And then the man said, the man believed that she was moving with him. And he asked her to promise him. And she said, I promise. And then he said, I'll come for you tomorrow. And then she said, tomorrow. Why did she say that? What had he done before he found her living in that apartment? Exactly. He had hired a detective because he didn't know where Vivienne was living, right? And now he finds her, he goes to her apartment, he tells her that she can come move with him, and she says, no, I will not go until Heloise is there, right? Unless Heloise moves out. And then he promises that Heloise will move out. And then he says he's coming tomorrow. And she said, tomorrow. Maybe she just said that because she wants him to go away so she can move again. And he'll never find her. I don't know. And then the story continues and he goes to this other part of the town in the suburbs. And there is a woman with black hair that runs to him and kisses him. And there is another woman here, and they talk, right? They kissed and walked into the house. Now we don't know which part is this and who are these women. So we're gonna see it again. Now, in the part 4, we got 3 more questions to discuss. You're going to listen to part 4 of the story. Who was the lady? This lady here, lady in white. Who was Vivienne? And who was Heloise? Now we'll finally find the answers to these questions. So listen to it again.
4.11.
Part 4.
My mother is here,
The woman said.
but she's leaving in half an hour. She came to have dinner, but there's nothing to eat.
I have something to tell you,
Said Hartley. He whispered something in her ear. His wife screamed.
Oh!
Her mother came running into the hall. The woman screamed again. But it was a happy scream, the sound of a woman whose husband loved her.
Oh, Mother!
She cried.
What do you think? Vivian is coming to be our cook. She is the cook that was with the Montgomerys. She's going to be ours. And now, dear,
She told her husband.
you must go to the kitchen and tell Eloise to leave. She has been drunk again all day.
So what is the story about? So he went back home to the suburbs, and that woman was actually his wife. And then he said he had something to tell her, and he told her that Vivian was coming. And the wife screamed, and her mother came into the hall. And then she told her mother that she's going to come to be their cook. And now we see the problem is Vivian was the cook they wanted to be with them. And this Heloise was another cook, but she was drunk. She was drinking all the time. She was giving more trouble than advantages to the family. And that's why Vivian said, well, I cannot go there unless Heloise moves out. So now we know this story, right? They wanted to hire her to be their cook. Very British story, right? Anyway, now we're going to see this part again for you to remember the structure. This is very simple. How do you use this, right? My, mine, your, and yours. I'll give you 1 minute to think about each sentence. Which one would you put in here? Here's it, right? Vivian, you didn't answer my last letter. I understand all the advantages of your offer. Vivian, you must be mine. My answer is yes, I will be yours. Now let's take a look at this again. So these are the sentences for you to remember. Listen and repeat these sentences.
4.12.
Whose coat is it?
It's my coat.
Let's repeat. Whose coat is it? It's my coat.
It's mine.
It's mine.
Whose jacket is it?
It's your jacket.
Whose jacket is it? Say it again. It's your jacket.
It's yours.
It's yours.
Whose phone is it?
It's his phone. It's his.
Now say it again. Whose phone is it? It's his phone. It's his. Okay.
Whose bag is it?
It's her bag. It's hers.
Whose bag is it? It's her bag. It's hers. Her bag, it's hers. Not hers bag, her bag. Now, next one.
Whose dog is it?
It's our dog. It's ours.
Keep saying. Right on. The last one.
Whose house is it?
It's their house. It's theirs.
So this is called possessive pronouns to talk about possession. Is it yours? Yes, it's mine. Use whose to ask about possession. Whose book is it? Whose is that bag? Right? To whom it belongs. So this is the structure, the basic structure we all need to understand to use, right? Don't use possessive pronouns with a noun. Not it's mine book. You say it's my book, right? Whenever you don't say anything, in the end you say mine, right? I can come, she loves me, this is my seat, it's mine. Now, if you complete the rest, try to do it mentally. Pause the video and continue. You can come, she loves you. Yeah, she loves me, she loves you, she loves him. Yeah, she loves you. This is your seat, it's yours. He can come. She loves him. This is his seat, and it is his, right? Just keep saying that. That's how you finish. Now, let's see the end of the story. Now, listen, say the sentences with a possessive pronoun. Let's listen to it again.
4.13.
It's my book. It's mine.
Okay, now you listen to it. Whenever you hear that sound, you have to say the possessive pronoun after the sentence. Let's try it.
It's her scarf. It's hers.
It's her scarf. It's hers.
They're our coats.
Our coats.
They're ours.
They're ours.
It's his bike. It's his.
That's the same.
It's your phone. It's yours.
It's yours.
It's their house. It's theirs.
They're your glasses. They're yours.
They're yours. All right, now, if you make adverbs from adjectives, it's very easy to do. You just add ly. Angry, angrily. Lazy. Isn't it the same? If you take a look at it, yeah. Just add ly to the end of each adjective. You need to transform them into an adverb. An adverb tells you how to say things, the way things are pronounced, or the way the action is taking place, right? Lazily, quietly, sadly, seriously, and slowly. Got it? Now, I want you to pause and pay attention to these sentences here. And I want you to use one of those adverbs here. Listen to some lines from stories. Add an adverb from A after said to show how the person is speaking. I'm sorry, but I don't love you, he said. Now, if you pay attention to the way it's being said, you have to think about one of the adverbs that will tell you how the sentence is being said, how the story is being told, right? So pay attention to it.
4.14. 1.
I'm sorry, but I don't love you.
2.
Give me back all my letters.
3.
I think I have an idea.
4.
Don't make a noise. Everyone is asleep.
5.
I don't feel like doing anything.
6.
This is a very important matter.
Okay, let's see it again. I want you to pay attention to these adverbs here, and I want you to listen to the way the sentence is being pronounced and try to use them. Let me give you a quick flash. No. Now, pay attention again.
4.14. 1.
Listen to it again.
I'm sorry, but I don't love you.
Well, if you go by the intonation of his voice, you can say that he's sad, right? But you can read here and say, I'm sorry, but I don't love you, he said. So what is the emotion he's feeling here? It's probably sad, right? So he said sadly. Give me back all my letters, she said. Now, was she serious? Angry?
2.
Give me back all my letters.
I don't know. Yeah, she's probably angry with him now. It makes sense according to your imagination and the context. Yeah. So she said angrily because she doesn't like him anymore. Whenever you give somebody a present and you break up the relationship, you want all the presents back. All the gifts I gave you, give them back to me. No, you don't say that. And in sentence 3, I think I have an idea, he said slowly. Yeah, that was very slow. Don't make a noise. Everyone is asleep, she said quietly. Yeah, with a quiet voice. Lazily, I don't feel like doing anything, he said lazily. Now, this kind of combines with what is being said here. And this is a very important matter, she said seriously, because it's important, very important. Okay. Okay, now, what you have to do, you have to go back to the book, to the workbook, lesson 8. And I want you to complete all the lessons there, right? Lesson 8A, B, and C, right? You have all the exercises to do, all the things to remember and practice and understand, okay? And we're going to correct them next class. All right? So, thank you very much for listening. Keep studying. Right on.